Hey, y'all. My name is Will Lawson. Welcome to the One Report. There are moments in public life that just don't raise questions, they expose patterns. And when those patterns repeat, they stop being coincidence and start becoming warnings. Recently, two separate situations involving individuals in proximity to members of Congress have sparked public concern. One on the surface, they appear different people, different circumstances, different outcomes, but underneath they point to the same uncomfortable reality. People are getting close to the seat of federal power without being fully known, fully vetted, or fully understood. And that should concern every American, regardless of your party. This is not a party thing. The pattern beneath the headlines. Folks, pay attention. It is easy to get caught up in the specifics of each case, who knew what, when they knew it, where laws were broken, but focusing only on the details misses off as often as it does the bigger picture. The real issue isn't whether the two situations are identical, because they are not. The issue is that they are similar enough in ways that matter the most. Individuals gain direct proximity to elected officials. Their true identity, background, or intent was never fully clear at the time. The risks were discovered after access had already been granted. Now, this is not a one off failure. This seems to be a systemic vulnerability. In Washington, D.C., as it is in a lot of places, access is everything. Because you don't have to necessarily hold office to influence outcomes. You don't have to cast a vote to shape decisions. Sometimes simply being close enough, physically, socially, or professionally, is enough. Because proximity allows for conversations that aren't recorded, influence that's not documented, relationships that are not being scrutinized in real time. And that's exactly why proximity must be controlled. But increasingly, it isn't. From the outside, it looks like federal government is locked down tight. There are metal detectors, armed security, intelligence agencies, surveillance systems. We spend billions protecting infrastructure, communication, and classified material. But there's a blind spot: the human layer. The people who staff events, provide security, build relationships, operate in the informal spaces around power. That layer is far less standardized and thus far more vulnerable. One of the biggest problems is that there is no single unified system governing who gets close to elected officials. Instead, access is often determined by a patchwork of campaign decisions, personal hiring choices, local contractors, social and political networks. And campaigns, especially, operate at lightning speed. And they're under pressure to fill roles quickly, trust referrals, prioritize loyalty and availability. And in that environment, vetting can become inconsistent, non-existent. But inconsistency is where the risk lies. Another key issue is, of course, timing. In both situations that sparked this conversation we're having this morning, the concern didn't arise before access was granted. It arose after. The relationships were formed. after proximity was established, after exposure had already occurred. And that's a reactive system. And reactive systems are always one step behind. So, again, to understand why this continues, you have to understand incentives. We talk about incentives a lot on this program because there's an enormous pressure in political environments to three things: move fast, trust quickly, which is always a problem, and build networks aggressively. Slowing down to deeply verify every individual can feel like a luxury, but it isn't a luxury. It's a necessity because the cost of getting it wrong isn't just embarrassment, it's exposure. Okay, here's the deal. The concern here isn't just about any one individual or incident. A lot of people came out this morning and yesterday, and it was great to hit Jasmine Crockett with the wiffle ball bat again. Oh, yeah, how satisfying is that? To smash her with your wiffle ball bat. Stupid girl. Right? You do that. But that's not what this is about. It's about what could happen when the wrong person gets close enough for long enough. That risk includes things like undue influence, compromised decision making, security vulnerabilities, and of course, the erosion, I should say, the continued erosion of public trust. Even the perception of these risks will be damaging because trust, once shaken, is almost impossible to rebuild. Most Americans don't need a detailed intelligence briefing to understand the problem. They see pattern and ask the simple question: why and how does this keep happening? And this isn't some partisan question, it's practical. People expect that those operating near the highest level of government are, of course, known, verified, and accountable. When that expectation isn't met, confidence erodes. Now, it's tempting to frame these issues through a political lens. Like I just said, it's great. When you find this stuff out, you get your wiffle ball bat and you go, "Where is she? Where is that Crockett girl? Smack her with this wiffle ball bat." Right? You would have to beat somebody for 6 years every day, all day long, to hurt them with wiffle ball bat. So y'all just relax, right? And if you don't know what a wiffle ball bat is, look it up. It's easy to assign blame, to score points, turn it into a partisan weapon, your wiffle ball bat. But that approach misses a real opportunity because this isn't about one party being careless and the other being responsible. This is about a system that at times allows access before certainty. And that system applies across the board, across the political spectrum. And if there's a takeaway from all of this, it's not outrage. Hey, you know the word I'm about to use? It's clarity. There needs to be a more consistent, enforceable standard for vetting individuals with close access to elected officials, verifying identities before granting proximity, monitoring and reassessing access over time. Got to go back and check these folks out again. Now, this doesn't require overreach, it just requires discipline. Because at the end of the day, this comes down to something simple. Power is not just about who holds office, it's about who can get close to those who do. And right now, the second part isn't as controlled as it needs to be. You can have the strongest institutions in the world, but if you don't know who's standing next to them, you got a problem. All right, let's land this plane with this. Americans are willing to accept that government is complex. We are willing to accept that mistakes are going to happen. But what we're not willing to accept is what they shouldn't accept. This is a pattern where people gain access to power without being fully known. Not once, not occasionally, but repeatedly. Because at some point, it stops being surprising and starts being unacceptable. My name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye bye now.